Today is a special day because it's the 100th anniversary of the flower ceremony. Can you imagine what life was like 100 years ago? There were no computers. There was no television. There was no polar fleece to cuddle in. People had to use wool. And there were definitely no smartphones. It was June 1923, far away in the country of Czechoslovakia, where the minister of the new Unitarian Church got an idea that became the flower ceremony. Where did the idea come from? The Reverend Norbert Čapek was sad when he looked around his city of Prague and saw the weariness and the wariness in the faces of the people. They had survived World War I, but had suffered greatly. Some people lost family members and friends. Some did not have enough food to eat or warm clothes to wear. Some people's homes were destroyed in the war. Reverend Čapek noticed that people had also lost their trust in one another. They were afraid to get close to other people who might be a little different than them. Reverend Čapek and his wife Maya were introduced to Unitarians when they lived in New York City in 1919. After a few years of getting to know Unitarian beliefs, they were inspired to go back to Czechoslovakia, where they founded the Prague Congregation of Liberal Religious Fellowship. The Unitarian values and beliefs of this new church brought people together from all walks of life, connecting them across age, race, class, and religious backgrounds, kind of like us. But Norbert could tell they needed something special to do at church to help people trust and accept one another again. They needed a symbol, something to show what they had in common without losing their uniqueness. They needed a ritual to embody their acceptance of one another, a way to lift people's spirits, a way to bring more beauty into the world again, a way to experience delight, that special kind of happiness. Delight comes as a surprise, as an unexpected moment of joy and connection. It's a special kind of happiness because when we feel delight, we feel more than happy. We feel delighted. I bet you can recognize that in yourself. How could Norbert surprise his community in a good way, a way that would cause delight? Where would he get an idea? Well, who knows where ideas come from? Norbert might have seen a flower as he was walking past a field, and it sparked his idea for a flower ceremony. He asked his congregation members to each bring a flower from their garden or roadside or field. As they entered the church building, they each put their flower in a large vase, creating a bouquet that symbolized their community, a combined cacophony of colors, flowers of every shape, size, and fragrance. Each flower brought joy in its uniqueness as a single blossom, but all of the flowers put together became more than they were alone. The flowers were so beautiful in that bouquet in Čapek's church that the people looked at them and said, "Ooh, ah." The flowers brought them delight. Can you see the vases of flowers that we have created together on the tables here in the front of the sanctuary? Can you say, "Ooh, ah," as you look at them? Let's say it all together. Wait, you're a little early, choir. Come on. Where have you heard that before? Ready? Ooh, ah. Oh, that brought me delight. You're so excited. You're like, you know what's coming. You heard it at 9 a.m. You know what's coming. Well, I'd like to invite us all to spend just a few moments of quiet, thinking and reflecting about the things that bring us delight in our lives. Think of something that brings you delight, that special kind of happiness. I'll give us 20 seconds to think quietly. $18, 19, 20. All right, let's turn and buzz and tell your neighbor what brings you delight. Find someone near you, be sure not to leave anyone out, and share what brings you delight. Ready, set, go. You're done back there, aren't you? All right, let's come back to the large group. Well, that buzz in the room was delightful. Thank you for sharing your delights. I wonder if we could make another cacophony all at the same time. Think of just like one or two words that names your delight, and then we'll say it out loud, like really loud, all together, all at once. Ready, set, go. Birds! Good job. Oh, how delightful. Well, you may be wondering a few things about the flower ceremony. You might be wondering how the flower ceremony, or flower communion as we know it, made its way from Prague to America. What happened is that Maya Chapik was a religious educator who later was ordained a minister, like our Reverend Kimberly. And when World War II broke out in Europe in 1939, Maya came to the United States to raise money for war refugees. And she brought the flower ceremony to the Unitarian Church in Cambridge, Massachusetts, where it became a tradition and it spread across the country and has become a beloved tradition all across the United States in Unitarian Universalist congregations, including ours. The flower ceremony, as the Chapiks called it, is still celebrated each year on the first Sunday of June at the Prague Unitarian Congregation in the Czech Republic. And because of the anniversary, their current minister, Reverend Dr. Peter Samoyski, agreed to an interview with one of our colleagues out east, and they got a chance to learn more about the history and the current practice of the ceremony. And he said that the main message of the ceremony is acceptance. He said, "We accept and love who is there and what they bring as they are. We are people of goodwill. We don't agree with fascism. We are the flower people. We resist fascism." He talked about cultivating equality in his community in Prague by accepting a flower to take home from the ceremony, no matter where it came from, or who brought it, or even if you think it's a weed. In fact, he said sometimes he brings a stinging nettle. Can you imagine? And puts it in the bouquet. We have no stinging nettles here today, to my knowledge, so don't worry. But as you may be familiar with this ceremony, it invites us to take home a different flower than what we brought today, symbolizing the giving and receiving that happens in community. Reverend Samoyski emphasized that if we were to choose which flower to bring home, we might end up comparing our flowers to others, even competing for the most beautiful flower. Can you imagine that happening here? Oh, I think sometimes it happens. But all the flowers are beautiful, just like all of us are beautiful. Many different kinds of flowers are needed to make the beautiful bouquets, just as many different people make a delightful community. Reverend Chopek blessed the flowers in his original ceremony, so I thought we would too. And apparently the way he did it would be to ask people to rise as they are able to hear this blessing of the flowers. So would you please rise in body or spirit and hear the blessing of the flowers. Infinite Spirit of life, we ask thy blessing on these, thy messengers of love and fellowship. May they remind us, amidst diversities of knowledge and diversities of gifts, to be one in desire and affection and devotion to thy holy will. May they also remind us of the value of comradeship, of doing and sharing alike. May we cherish friendship as one of thy most precious gifts. May we not let awareness of another's talents discourage us or sully our relationship, but may we realize that whatever we can do, great or small, the efforts of all of us are needed to do thy work in this world. May it be so, and amen. Thank you, and please be seated.